hello, and welcome to Dream It, Dare to Do It. Live the life you want. Today is the finale of season 2. We are closing season 2 today. I'm very happy to say that I actually have a season 2. And and I have my friend Rob with me. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Jazzy, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Season
So
two, man.
season 2, isn't that crazy? So I'm gonna take a break. I'm taking a break from podcasting for 2 months just to see what can I do for season 3. Like,
Yeah,
how can I spice it up and find something else.
yeah.
But today, I invited you because you were with me all season. And last week I did Amy. And so I closed out the season with Amy last week. And now I'm like talking to you. And like, people you guys don't know, but Rob and I are like, we're besties.
Yeah. Literally talk every week, every
Yeah.
week.
And we're co-creating together. And we're both wanting to live the life that we want. And so we're we're just creating stuff and we're having a lot of fun. So the latest thing that we just created was Rob's official unfit community. Rob, talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about that to the people who are listening.
Uh, before I even start talking about it, let me say thank you for the. I when you said we're co-creating, I was like, oh, that sounds so cool because it makes me seem like I give way more input and efforts to something coming to pass than I do. Because technically, what I thought we was doing was me just being online and you telling me how I needed to shape up for it to work right. Which cool, I'm all for that because that's exactly what happened. But no, the unfit community was kind of something I always knew I wanted to do, to share my understanding of true nature of health and what I've seen from my overall understanding, or as we would say, a paradigm or understanding of the 3 principles: mind, thought, and consciousness. But the community was one that I felt like would be my flavor. And what I mean by that is just not by, any rules, giving the space for people to just truly be creative, for them to be inspired, for them to collaborate, for them to network. It was just like one of those. And what I love most about the community is that, excuse me, once the invites started coming, people start coming in, which gave me the indication they wanted to connect too. So that was pretty exciting to see people wanting to connect, wanting to see what comes about it. And so it's been very interesting. The Unfit in itself, the brand has been quite different for a few months, probably not even a few months. Recently, I was involved in a car accident where I totaled my truck, and a few things happened. One was it was the first time I realized I had almost been in a near-death experience where I really loved living my life. And that was a much different feel than having been in near-death experiences before and being okay if I died or not.
Mm.
This time was like this overwhelming desire to want to make sure, hey, okay, we still in here? We checking in? We still good? Like, it was like, for whatever it's worth, just don't let me die. Like, for whatever, just give me the ability to see tomorrow so I can have these type days again. I find myself having more fun in my life than I do in my dreams now. So that's what's kind of been new for me with Unfit. And that was more so where a subtle shift changed, where while most people thought Unfit was about fitness, and you can arguably draw that conclusion and you may be able to do it forever, because for me personally, fitness is my how I prioritize my self-care. Is something I'm passionate about, something I love doing. But in that accident, I realized that it's not an amount of working out that would have saved my life if it was time for it to go there. And it just took this layer of intensity, or so-called correct wayness off of fitness for me. Watched a documentary called Human. And on the documentary Human, they talk about food. And the guy starts out saying how food is just fuel, full stop. It's not communion. It's not the wonderful thing you have with your family. It's not this, it's not that, it's just fuel. That took a level off. And it was just like a deepening into what really am I doing all this for? Bring us back to where we are, trying to live the life I want.
Mm-hmm.
And so Unfit was just seeing where I was self-imposing suffering, where I was intentionally going into the system and no, I want to put some suffering there. I want to put some suffering here. I want to put some suffering on that. And then if I have that suffering, that makes it easier for me to accept this life, this fun, because I've suffered through it. And that just no longer looks true to me to do.
Yeah, it makes it okay, right? Okay, so like you can't have this much fun. So I gotta put in some suffering in there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much has been what's fresh for me and what I'm having such an amazing time exploring. Yeah, it's just super, super fun.
Yeah, in the community for you, like you're also, because of your, I'm guessing, I'm making this up, you can tell me if I'm making it up right, because of your background in the military, community is something that, like, you've been in teams and you've been with people, and you see the impact that it all has. So that's why the community was such a good fit for you. Like you can see how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I see the dynamics of team and community so vividly in everything I want to do. Sometimes I'm a team member who gets to go, hit the hammer to the nail type thing. But what I love most about my understanding of teams is oftentimes I could just be the source of space for all the people, all the practitioners, or all the people who do the wonderful work throughout the world. I enjoy being the space that they could come sit still in. I do have a joy with coaching. Don't get me wrong. I do love someone who has some anxiety, who has some frustrations, or who wants to perform better, or who are just considered that their body or the way they eat are way out of control for the life that they want. So don't get me wrong. I do love a bit of that. But I truly love when I'm sitting in a space with the practitioner or coach or trainer or some, and they get inspired of a way they want to influence and inspire more people. And that really lights me up, because I'm never one to point at the right way or wrong way. That's good, that's bad, don't do this, do that. That's never been me, and more so now, way out of what you would consider to be my lane. But it's like, if I get them to see themselves, whatever they do in their lane is going to be the best at it. So the ripple effect it's going to have on the world is going to be tremendous.
Yeah.
If I get a singer who sings at the best of their abilities, that's just going to be music to the ears of many listeners. If I get a plumber who sees that unclogging a toilet is not based on him, he flows into your house much easily, like a doctor who sees patients, a teacher who sees kids, all of that. It's like, I feel like I just want to arm, and I'll use a military term here, I want to arm the warfighter, for whatever war they want to fight. And by doing that, I personally don't have to fit in any of those boxes to do it. I don't have to be a PhD to hype a PhD up. I don't have to have a master's degree to do that. I just got to be me. Just got to share my experience, and just got to see it for myself. If I see it, I can say it. And enough, where people can hear it.
I think the podcast started in season 2. I forget exactly when it started, but I think it's like 3 months. I think it was March. something to that effect. So like we've been basic. I'm thinking back to like March seems so far away,
Oh, yes.
right?
That's such a
It
paradigm
seems
shift since then. Absolutely.
yeah, there's so much that has transformed. Like you were talking about holding the space, right? The thing that I've started seeing more and more for myself is I love co-creating. Like, I knew I liked it. I was coaching somebody and she was like, she stopped me and she's like, oh my God, I'm co-creating with you right now. This is so freaking awesome. And I saw it like, and see, I'm telling you, and I get the goosebumps. And so this is my new thing. Like, if I get the goosebumps, like for me, like it's just showing me how I'm in a space of truth.
Yeah.
Like whenever I get goosebumps. So now I'm talking to these people, I'm co-creating stuff with them, and which is, stuff that I did with you. But like, yeah, I have the how to and I have the how we do things, but it's your energy, right? Like, it's like, because I was talking with you, like, I heard you talk about community. I heard you do what you do. And
Yeah.
this just like, it was just like, for me, it was like, this looks like something good for you. And I created from you. If I look at the visuals, the images, how it's spoken, how it's posted, it's your essence.
Yeah.
And that is just cool. I just love being able to see your essence and bring it out in the world,
Oh,
show
yeah.
it to the world.
Mhm.
And
What
so,
I call a walking example of what we teach.
yeah, but
A walking example.
but I've seen how what I love to do is create. And I love to create. Don't get me wrong. I can create my stuff also, but I love, love, love to co-create.
Yeah.
And that is different for me in this season. This is something that by talking to everybody that I have talked, because, like I speak to so many people in the podcast and everybody has their own way of thinking about living their life, the life they want. But I'm getting more and more grounded in just that. Like,
Yeah.
I have been living the life I want, but I was like you, fitting in boxes.
Yeah.
Right? I was making myself fit in boxes, and now I'm starting to see where I'm putting myself in these boxes.
Oh, yeah. And once you realize that, once you see yourself putting it, you realize that is not what I want to be doing right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, especially when I don't have to. I think that's new now, is knowing I don't have to. Right. Before I thought it was no choice. It was part for the course, as we said. But no, it's not. It's really not. I love the piece about the co-creation, because there's this old scripture, Baptist scripture, that my mom or the church when I grew up used to say, and they say, where 2 or 3 people are gathered, God will be in the midst. Right. So when I heard you say that, that's the first thing came to my head of what happens when another human being is next to you. And I think the image that I kind of got was, oh, okay. So the moment you start co-creating, you just get a real live example of another beautiful being that you get to reflect light off of, in a sense. And it provides its own different light at that point.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we're both shining from this universal life force. It's shining through me, Rob. It's shining through you, Jazzy. But when those two lights come across the same path at the same time, they create a different kind of light. And that kind of light gets people, who knows, but it's just a different light. And so you're in awe of it. You're struck by it. You're just like, and like you said, yes, I could sit here and create my own stuff, but I'm only running that prism of lightness through myself. So of course, everything I look at goes through my thinking, my understanding, and it's nothing to reflect it out real time, so to speak. When you're co-creating, it's like, it's so easy to see because all I got is me and all you got is you. So the moment you see a different color than what you're used to seeing out of your prism, grabs your attention. And that's when those two, boom, when they intersect and that new color comes, that's the space where you got to draw pictures and do everything from. And this happened to us. I remember one time we was working on some, and we had been working for 15, 20 minutes, probably even longer than that.
Yeah. I think it was like 45 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And
I know what you're talking about.
Is that much trouble hanging on with me, huh? It feels like farther than what it is. Wow. Thanks, Jazzy. Great. You know, don't make it sound like such a death trap to hang out with me on the telephone.
Oh, stop it.
No, but yeah. And all of a sudden we was having a hard time with it. We couldn't, it just didn't resonate. There was pictures. We may have liked this, but nothing about the project at totally. The time. Yes.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we scratched it by mere thought of, I think you said, wait, let me try this.
Yeah.
Totally new template comes up. Everything falls into place. And everything we had been trying to do for 45 minutes had came together in less than 5. And we were over the hill about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we were both in just pure shock and amazement at how we did this in 5 minutes when we spent 45 minutes trying to so-called do it. So,
but yeah, that's what's really cool about it. That's what I actually loved about, co-creating with you, is that you're willing to try it. You're like me. You're willing to try it. It's like, yeah, let's just try shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. And it's what's also really cool is that it's a living, breathing thing. So like we started working, a while ago together, and we started creating little things, and we were like, okay, let's try this. But now we're kind of like, well, that was kind of cool. And now it's like, it's morphing into something else. And then we're kind of like, well, this is kind of cool. Well, now I could do that. And it's just like, it's like our business, our living, breathing thing. And that was one thing in my business. Like if anybody that knows me knows that I've tried shit, but I've tried shit alone. I've never co-created the way that I'm co-creating now. I was just creating the way that I was doing it. And it was just bigger than me. I had to do it. Like if I look at everything that I've done in my life, from a teenager, I used to sell ice cream on the Dickie D bicycles. And then, I became a babysitter at 10. Then, I started working in a dépanneur, and in every place, I just loved it. It was a co-creation, and I would see people, it was a creation, and I would see people, and I always loved to be with people. And my friends would roll their eyes. I remember my first boss, he's like, when I met him, I'd gone for like 13 years from working with him. And I met him and he says, so what are your projects now? He's like, I know you always have projects. Yeah. And I took it wrong. Like I made it mean that there was something wrong with me that I did that.
No.
I know you do that now.
Oh, absolutely.
Me, like, and I would push through it, and I would still do it. I would take breaks, and I would do, okay, no, I have to go create something. Right. Yeah. But now I'm like, you know what? That's what I like to do. I actually love to create stuff. I can create anything, and anybody can create anything.
That's a good point. I think what's cool for me is I am a 180 from what I was, meaning before I had this understanding that I can have the life that I want, I lived from it must be fixed knowledge and I'm not trying anything new. That was the assumption which governed all of my behaviors. Nope, I don't know nothing about that, not trying it. Scratch. I got this lane and I'm staying in it. I didn't even need the bumpers. You know, like when you go bowling, the little bumpers in case you bounce. No, don't even touch the bounce. That means you're out of line if you touch the boundary. Like it's just way out of place. And it's a very funny, or it would seem like a very insignificant story, but it really just was like you can hear the noise in my head of a glass just breaking. And that's my dad. So my dad comes out to visit me one time and we go out to eat or whatever. And I'm like, Dad, try this. He's like, oh, hell no, I don't like that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Where'd you have it at? Oh, I ain't never had it. Wait, Dad. Well, how you know? Yeah, I can just tell. I can look at it and tell I don't like it. So my dad, that's how my dad goes, right? And
That's
it's
how
so
I was.
funny. Yeah, it's so funny when we go places to eat or do anything. Like if he doesn't know it, he hates it automatically. Right?
Yeah, my dad's the same.
So we go to this restaurant last time we was together. And I said, Dad, I want you to try this. He was like, oh, I know, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I asked the server, I said, can I have a sample of that? And so my dad's still over here saying, no, I don't want that. I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that. And so the service pulls the little stuff back in and kind of throws the serving cup away. And I was like, excuse me, what are you doing? She was like, oh, he's not eating that. I was like, man, would you give me my sample? He's about to eat this. He's about to try this. My dad, I mean, the frown, the balled up face, the whole nine, as if I'm basically asking him to drink poison, in a sense. He's got all of them. All I was asking him to try was a piece of tofu, seasoned tofu. That's it. A piece. It was a little, like a piece. He's like, I mean, the whole time he puts it in his mouth, he's chewing. It's the most disgusting thing he's ever tasted on his face until he starts smiling. He looks at the cup. He goes, let me get a little bit more of that. Let me try that. Let me get a little bit more of that. And so then he wants me to order that for him. And I just could not stop laughing at that. Because when we sat down to eat, he devoured this tofu. Like he literally, as if he had never ate nothing else. He loved the taste of that particular tofu. And that was kind of like how I used to live. Like if I didn't know it, if it didn't look a certain way, if it didn't, I wasn't even about trying it. And I just missed out on a whole bunch of things.
Same.
You know, I missed out on things that I later found out was good. I lived in Japan for 3 years and didn't eat Japanese food. Like didn't eat sushi. I didn't eat sushi till I came back to the United States. Think about that. Really, Robert? Like you're in Japan and you won't try Japanese food, but you're gonna try it once you come back to America. That ain't even Japanese food. That's American food. Like, that's not even.
Yeah.
So
I was the same.
Now it's about exploring, trying, co-creating, see what I could fail at. You know, because I don't have to have all the answers. I mean, plainly put, I don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
And that's the space I need to operate from.
And it's a different space. Like, it's kind of like I guess we thought, well, you know, I'm safe if I have all the answers, right? It's kind of like a safety thing, eh?
Yeah. Not true, but it feels safe.
Yeah.
Feels safe. Not true as hell. I mean, nowhere near true at all, but it sure as hell makes you feel safe.
Yeah. I'm the same. I mean, I've only started eating anything, I'm going to say, in the past 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not long ago, you know, considering I'm 51. I mean, until I was 30, I mean, a lot of friends that haven't been hanging with me, you know, because as you grow older, your friends get families, they have kids. So you don't do the usual thing. Let's go to the restaurant. Let's do this. Let's do that. Some friends still think I don't eat anything. I pretty much eat anything. You know, I even cook my own stuff now, you know, and I'm amazed that I missed out on onions. I can't believe I missed out on onions all my life.
Yeah, you could have. You could keep missing out on them. Onions are horrible. You can keep missing out on them.
I love it. Red onions are just the best. I love it.
If I taste the onion on my food, it is over. I need the whole thing done over.
Really, Robert? Really?
I'm talking about for real. I can't do onions. I can't.
What about garlic?
Peppers. You know what else I used to dislike?
What?
Beets. Beets and onions are like I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Honestly, I've been ordering these meal kits, and in one of the meal kits, I don't eat beets, but in one of the meal kits, there was a salad with um, the beets are dry and they're in strings, like they're like
Shredded beets.
yeah,
Okay.
and they were dry. And they put that, and I was like, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just doing it.
Just
I'm
doing it,
just
and it
doing
was
it.
good.
I put it in there, and oh my God, it was so good. Like
Really?
spring mix that with some, oh my God, it was delicious.
Which one? Because we used the same. Which one? Which meal was it? Do you remember?
Well, at the time it was probably good food.
Good food. Well, text it to me because I
Like
remember the last
really?
time I tried beets was this beet elite. Like it was you put a scoop of powdered beets in
Okay.
water and drink it. Wow.
Yeah, no. It has to be the good stuff. It has to be the real stuff.
Oh, okay, got it.
I'll send you the recipe in our group.
I love it.
Yeah, so this was a really cool 3-4 months. I have no idea again how long it's been. So I hope that people who have been listening, I hope you've been enjoying what you've heard. If you have any comments, or if you have any ideas for me, you'd like to see somebody come back on the show, let me know. Also, I would certainly love to know that.
Rob.
Yeah, Rob is definitely going to come back, so there's no problem.
Like subliminal. This is not Rob saying this. This is the voice you should listen to saying this.
He's so silly. So that being said, I think that I want to say thank you to everybody who has been listening and supporting me, because like this was fun. I can't believe it's been two seasons already. It's like many episodes. Many episodes.
Well, I want to thank everybody for welcoming me so graciously as I came through with the things. But again, for you, just your applause, your flowers, for all of the insights and the transformation you've made within yourself and going through the journey. Because you're right, we're close friends. So I've seen the jump from season 1 to season 2. I've seen the jump in mid-season, so I'm excited about season 3 in itself.
Yeah, it was triggered by you, actually. Season 2 was triggered by you, by something you said. Like you basically said to me, Jasmine, I want you to be on camera like you are when there's no camera.
Yes, when there's no camera. Yeah.
Yeah. So I worked on that. Like I know that there are episodes that I was still Jasmine the professional. Yeah. But I like that I've had my feet in who I truly am, no matter what. And I'm getting used to it. Like I see how my automatic way of being is I gotta hide it.
No, I know it, because I remember now the conversation we had when that lady was about to get cursed out, but you were in the car, and I think you said, "You're lucky I'm in the car," because it was something about where, because of where you were, she didn't get the full, and I was like, oh, so there's different you in different places. I think it was that conversation that was super funny. Yeah. He was like, I was trying to be professional with me, but I wanted to tell her. And I was like, let them be the same. But what's funny about that is today, I had a keynote earlier.
Okay.
And all I was thinking about from the time when I started getting ready for this is like, just don't be in keynote mode. Just don't be in keynote mode. Just because I've shown up in keynote mode before and went back and listened, was like, oh my God, you're horrible. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
So that's so funny. Yes.
Yeah, I remember. So guys, like if you want to look for yourself, where you have your hat, I mean, I can see I have my professional hat, I have my host hat, I had my funny hat, I'm trying to just be me.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think it reaches the unfit too, right? That's kind of like,
Oh, absolutely it does.
yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Wow. All right. Well, Rob, thank you very much. I don't know what you're going to do in season 3 yet. I haven't decided, but I'll let you know.
All right. I figured I'll be there. I'll be there.
All right. Well, everybody, I think Rob might have a last minute message. Do you have any nuggets of wisdom for people before I say my ending message?
Ooh, nuggets for wisdom. Yes. A wise man once said, nothing at all. Because if you go back and look at the season and you listen to you now, I don't think anything else has to be said. You truly exemplify living the life you want.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say what I want for you guys is to dream it, dare it, do it, live the life you want. That's what I want for everybody. So thank you, everyone, and take care.